Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. When we last left off, meeting notes, I may or may not have figured out how to cheat the system and get my guys back on their feet miles away from Calo Nord. This in turn may or may not have given me the advantage of being able to draw them into a one-on-one conflict. And thus leave him with a singular guy to fight back with. And she's down again. Oh, he hasn't actually done any damage to him yet. Snipe him into oblivion. That living fuck is taking a lot of punishment. Not entirely sure how. And they should respawn right about now. Oh, yeah. I don't know, I can travel quite a distance. I mean, he's not even attacking me, he's well in the distance now. By the time the game's gonna suddenly realize I was cheating the system and prevent me from reviving my people. Strange. Last time I did this, I got a certain distance and they respawned. Is it because they're too close to the actual enemy? Or do I need to draw lure Calo Nord further away?
Powering weapon. Powering weapon. Prejudice set to maximum.
He's not chasing, so he only goes to that distance. Fine by me, I have enough. I have a couple of medkits on me, so. Oh, let's respawn those then. If I have to do the cheap tactic of attack, pull back, attack, pull back. I would pull back to where you can't shoot me and then heal. Is he healing back there? His repair is high, that it'll repair him faster than he damage. So it's up to this one, ow, that hurt. Ooh, that's hurt. That hurts a lot. Disrupting the death. I don't know what's going on here, but this thing's packs a punch. Nice. I'll take care of those stuff. I think my droid disruptor ran out. I don't know what happened there, but I think because they were right next on top of the corpses and they didn't run away from far away, they didn't disengage enough for them. Yeah, my droid disruptor's gone. Wow, you only have 10 uses out of it. Darn.
What?
Master, I cheesed them to death. Well done. It's like, still, why this guy was so hard to kill, I do not know. The others weren't that hard. I didn't get him another droid disruptor ray, because that thing ate through his health at rapid pace. It didn't miss either. Doop 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 doop.
Hey, it's one of those star maps, ain't it? Kind of weird finding it in the back of a crate dragon's lair, don't you think?
Observation. There is tremendous power emanating from the star map. I wonder if the crate dragon was drawn to this cave because of it.
Probably. It's a dark side artifact.
Yes, Master. I am certain you are correct. Now that we have what we came for, I do hope we will be leaving this world soon. I am growing so sick of sand in my circuits.
And there we go. Don't know if I can go mission or not. No, probably not, because you're all the way back there. Still, we didn't level up from that. Sad in and of itself. But yeah, we somehow cheesed the fight and drew him. I should have just gone in with a droid disruptor ray from the get-go. That thing was awesome. May the rocks crush your bones. Hi, Carlo. I do not win against him, which is unfortunate. But, you know, c'est la vie. Master, why are we heading back to the Sand People? And the Crate Dragon Gym. In the Rail Hunter, it doesn't say specifically that you're not allowed to lure your prey out into an ambush, into a trap. I mean, that's kind of actually hunting 101, to be perfectly honest. The whole idea of hunting is to lure your prey into a trap that gives you the advantage. If you want to duel it, different question. If you want to do a duel, different thing entirely. You sort of throw punches at each other. But that's not hunting, that's a duel. And I'll take on that. Okay, let's get some points, hopefully level up. I think we've actually done anything on this planet. Do I hand him the Coyote Dragon Pearl, or do I go to give it to the storyteller? Warrior, chief.
Query, what do you wish to ask of him, Master? Protocol. This will be a very sensitive... Translation. He says that the fact that you have... Translation. His people believe. Translation. That act of removal makes you an outsider, separate from all that is important. You could never understand how unwelcome you are.
What do you mean, raise myself above the land?
Translation. Translation. He says that outsiders use machines to convey them and to make their lives easier. This severs a connection with the land. Translation. Connection to the soil must be made through flesh. A sacred animal is the only external tool to be used. Translation.
They're not part of the land.
Translation. He says that the use of these blasphemous things will only be tolerated because outsider interference has forced it upon them. Translation. If your kind had not come here, he would not have to defend their ways or their land.
Ah.
Translation.
I believe it's the history of the clan train fort that lets me get the thing with the Coyote Dragon.
Translation. You have been told that to be considered worthy of hearing the histories, you need to bring him a... Translation. He says the discussion is closed until you fulfill...
Here's the Dragon Pearl.
Translation. Translation. He is stupefied, Master. He never thought you could return with such an item. Such a thing has not been done in many years. Translation. He will allow you to meet the storyteller, but also gives a warning. If you dare to repeat the histories incorrectly, you will be killed. Translation. The storyteller will be summoned to one of the rooms here in the Enclave. He seems to think this is a great honor for you, Master.
Thank you.
Translation. Translation. We are free to leave.
Yay, 250. Now I can... The thing is, you may say, oh, you can't tell because you'll repeat it incorrectly, but it's like... Technically speaking, the droid I have with me can never translate it incorrectly. That's the thing with him. He will always recount it perfectly. Rubble. Didn't care about me searching for rubble. Warrior, female. Fanfare, warrior. It must have been here. Oh, the storyteller was right next door. I thought it'd be in a different tent. Part of the tent. Compared to the ones that you encounter, the Sandpeople storyteller is relatively calm and fluent speech. We still regard you coldly.
Translation. He identifies himself as the storyteller, Master. He has been told of your warrior skills and will speak the history to you.
He'll speak it? They do not write it down? I am honored. Ask him what he records.
Translation. Translation. There is only one accepted history, passed orally to each successive generation. Translation. A book or datapad can be taken away, cheapening the value of what it contains. To commit it to paper or storage is to remove it from the people.
Oral histories are often inaccurate.
Translation. Translation. He says that you dare not question the accuracy of his information. The stories are learned perfectly by each successive storyteller. Translation. In fact, they aren't allowed to speak the stories aloud unless they are exact. Any error is considered a blasphemy, punishable by death. Criticism. It seems inefficient to me, Master. A score of apprentice storytellers would be slaughtered each generation. What if the elder died before completing the teachings?
That's a good question. Ask him that.
Translation.
What would happen if you perish before you?
Translation. Apprentices are trained from birth. Very few speak the words in error. Storytellers are most often lost in battle between tribes. Translation. Any tribe that loses its storyteller is obviously unworthy of existing. They lose their connection to history and destroy themselves within fighting soon after.
Cool. That's what you call dedication.
Translation.
I'm dedicated to my craft, baby.
Translation. You may choose to hear the history, or you may choose not to. Their history is a single entity that cannot be partitioned. Translation. The only exception is in continuing the tales once they have begun. If you leave, when you return, he will continue from where he left off.
Begin the history.
Translation.
Sit down and enjoy a cup of tea, folks. It could take a while.
Translation. It begins with the ancient times. They were not sand people, for there was no sand. The land was green with life, and they walked without wrappings. Translation. Though the land was beautiful, they lived apart from the land. They built their walls high and saw beyond the horizon. They dared to reach the stars.
Oh.
Translation. There are no words for how long ago this was. It was before the outsiders, before the abduction, before the cities fell, before the builders.
Ooh. I want to ask a question about
Cautionary. I should warn you, Master, that any questioning of their interpretation may be seen as trying to change the meaning of what was said. Clarification. They may consider this to be speaking the words in error, a blasphemy they would attempt to kill you for.
Okay.
Obedient. I will.
Continue the history where you left off.
Translation. Translation. His arrogant people touched the stars, and this sin drew the attention of the builders. The builders did not touch the stars, they lashed them to millstones.
Ooh.
Translation. Great demons of metal stripped the world of its riches, until all that was left was the green of the ground. The great cities were lifted away. Translation. Those that had used the wealth were taken along with it. Transgressors abducted to serve past the sky, seeding the stars with penitent, adaptable slaves.
Okay.
Translation.
I can take my own quirky idea what this means.
Translation. There came a time when the builders were also judged for their crimes. After generations, a plague weakened them, and the time of the Great War began. Translation. The builders faltered, and his people realized why they had been punished, so that they understood the crime, and would now strike down the greater offender. Translation. They worked chaos in the machines, so they destroyed themselves. The builders fought back, laying waste to the green that had been misused with fire from above. Translation. Soil became glass, grinding to sand, but the fight was long planned, and his people were safe. Deep in cave homes carved from valley wall, they were free.
Continue the history.
Translation. Editing, if I may, Master. This section of his tale details several millennia of the Long Walk, their nomadic wanderings as they accept their identity in a desert world. Rather than strain my circuits on his dialect, might we just assume there was much fighting over who has the biggest bantha and move on to more recent things?
If you can gently encourage that, go ahead.
Translation. Translation. The tribes spread far, distant from each other.
So, can you, like,
all as sand people, and all cherished the land that remained. The sand would not be misused. Translation. Then machines fell from the stars again. Outsiders like you that brazenly walked apart from
I thought
the
we were
land.
builders again.
And greater still was the insult to come. Translation. These outsiders reminded them of their past transgression, of the time when they too walked apart from land. The outsiders, your kind, looked like their ancient abducted. Translation. So it is to the current sons that the Sand People hate all outsiders and give them no footing. You come again, time after time, adaptable slaves to the machine.
Is there anything further?
Editing. The last 1,000 years are full of conflicts with different groups of attempted planetary settlers, all of whom are poorly described, long dead, and likely untraceable. I believe I have truncated it down to the usable bits in what was already said. I hope it is enough, Master.
Thank you.
Translation.
I don't think we can actually ask him any questions about what we've heard, because that's just... that would be maybe considered as trying to change the story. Also, I need a new slave. That was my ha-ha-ha save from killing Colonel Nord. So, in summary, they were once great builders, had massive cities, and even dared to reach for the stars. Then another, a more powerful intergalactic bunch came along, who already had an empire in the stars. Came, whooped them, kidnapped their ancestors, turned them into slaves, but then something happened, a plague of sorts, made them sick, made them weak. And the moment they became weak, the moment they faltered, their slaves turned on them. And thus, the great empire of the stars crumbled. For now. And with that, they then came back. They fought back against them. People up there went and tried nuking them off the face of the earth, face of the sands. But they guys had already anticipated this and snuck the people down in the underground, away from the weapons. So even as their warriors' topsides fell and the place was burnt to destroyed, and became nothing but sand, their people were saved and they came out of hiding. save for the knowledge that the builders were already on their death throes and were collapsing. The great empire was collapsing in on itself. And then, millenniums later, we turned up. Outsiders once more, people descending from the skies once more like the ancient builders of old, or their own people, so to speak. And to them, it's a repeat of history, and they are not wanting it a repeat of history. But anyway, that's it for this one, folks. When we come back, we're leaving Tatooine. So, until then, I'll catch you all later. See ya!